Firstly, before I get into this part of the theory, I would like to say that I stand with people who support equal rights. Over the past several years, there have been many different issues that have happened, at least in the U.S., and many more that have happened around the world. There have been several people who have been shot by police or killed by police, including George Floyd, Dante Wright, Breonna Taylor, Amir Locke, and more. On February 17th, a Florida committee advanced a bill called the Don't Say Gay Bill that would restrict discussions of sexual orientation and gender identity in schools. Several states make it either difficult or impossible for women to get abortions. And then, as I wrote this script, I don't know if when you're watching this, I don't know if it's still happening, but Russia was invading Ukraine. Now, I understand I may not know much about these different topics. However, that does not invalidate my ability to stand with certain people. I stand with the people who have been oppressed by racism, sexism, homophobia, and more. I may be making videos in the future regarding Star Wars and Star Trek that identify things like racism, sexism, homophobia, and other topics. I'm always willing to learn more about these topics, and I feel like that I should use my platform to spread equality. Many of those issues have been talked about in Star Wars and Star Trek. Whether the story has been told well or not is a different story, but many of those issues have been talking points in different Star Wars and Star Trek series or movies or TV shows or whatever the case may be. If I'm going to talk about these topics in relation to Star Wars and Star Trek, that would require me to do the research, to have conversations with different people who identify with these previously mentioned topics. I have a lot to learn. I want to get it as correct as possible. And these are serious issues. These are serious topics that are still happening in the world today. Having said that, I think it's about time to get into the actual video. A Jedi, also known by the title of Lord Jedi in ancient times, was a devotee to the ways of the Jedi Order, an ancient order of protectors united by their ability to harness the power of the Force. Adhering to a doctrine that favored the light side of the Force, the Jedi aspired to attain a state of inner tranquility through the calmness and meditation, while avoiding emotions affiliated with the dark side of the Force, such as anger and hatred. Nevertheless, Jedi philosophy did not forbid a Jedi from acting in self-defense or in the defense of others.
A Jedi uses the Force for knowledge and defense, never for attack.
To that end, the weapon of a Jedi was a lightsaber, a blade composed of pure energy and different colors such as blue, green, purple, or yellow. Before the time of the Galactic Empire, a Jedi was a guardian of peace and justice in the Galactic Republic. The Jedi's commitment to peace and democracy brought them into conflict with an order of dark side wielders known as the Sith, who sought power and dominion over the galaxy. Emerging victorious from their wars with the ancient Sith, the Jedi carried on in their duty as peacekeepers for over a millennium until the advent of the Clone Wars 22 years before the Battle of Yavin.
For over 1,000 generations, the Jedi Knights were the guardians of peace and justice in the Old Republic. Before the Dark Times. Before the Empire.
Faced with a pan-galactic civil war, between the Republic and Confederacy of Independent Systems, the Jedi adopted the mantle of generals and soldiers in the Grand Army of the Republic. After 3 years of conflict, the Jedi discovered that the Sith had deceived them and engineered war to restore them back to power. However, the Jedi were betrayed by one of their own, the chosen Anakin Skywalker, who had been seduced to the dark side and anointed Darth Vader by the Sith Lord Darth Sidious.
Henceforth, you shall be known as Darth Vader.
Using the Jedi's own clone troopers to initiate a systematic purge of the Jedi Order, the Lords of the Sith all but eradicated the Jedi in one fell swoop, reducing the Order from thousands of Jedi Knights to a handful of survivors who dispersed into exile across the galaxy. The Sith ruled the galaxy through the Empire for a generation, but did not succeed in completely wiping out the Jedi Order. As a result, Ezra Bridger and Luke Skywalker were in turn trained as new Jedi by Jedi Knight Kanan Jarrus and Jedi Master Obi-Wan Kenobi, respectively. Skywalker, the son of Vader, was also taught the ways of the Jedi by Grand Master Yoda, and fought for the Alliance to restore the Republic during the Galactic Civil War. On his deathbed, Yoda gave his final apprentice the mandate of passing on his lessons to a new generation of Jedi. Shortly afterward, Skywalker succeeded in redeeming his father, who sacrificed himself to save his son by killing his Sith master, Emperor Sidious, thereby destroying the Sith and fulfilling the prophecy of the Chosen One.
I'll not leave you here. I've got to save you.
You already have. Look, you were right. You were right about me. Tell your sister you were right.
During the era of the New Republic, Skywalker worked to rebuild the Jedi Order by training 12 apprentices, including his young but powerful nephew, Ben Solo. But Solo fell to the dark side and became Kylo Ren, apprentice of Supreme Leader Snoke, Master of the Knights of Ren, and a warlord of the First Order, while Skywalker's training temple and students were destroyed.
Let the past die. Kill it, if you have to.
As the First Order rose to power, Ren and Snoke sought to destroy Skywalker, who, in self-exile, briefly trained Rey in the ways of the Jedi until he sacrificed himself to save the Resistance, after which time Skywalker's sister, Leia Organa, continued her training. when a reborn Darth Sidious, Rey's grandfather, revealed himself to the galaxy, Ben Solo, the opposite in the dyad in the Force with Rey, was redeemed, and Rey sacrificed herself to destroy the Phantom Sith Lord, preventing the rebirth of the Sith Order. Rey was saved from death by Solo, who gave his life for hers, allowing the Jedi to live on. The Jedi Knights focused on calmness and peace to channel their powers in the Force, using the light side of the Force to serve in the capacity of guardians of peace and justice in the galaxy. Even so, the Jedi sought to preserve balance in the Force. The ancient prophecy of the Chosen One foretold of a being who would restore balance to the Force by destroying the Sith.
He is the Chosen One. You must see it. I will train him then. I take Anakin as my Padawan learner. Obi-Wan is ready. He is headstrong, and he has much to learn of the living Force, but he is capable.
In combat, whereas an enemy may grow impatient and rely on their overwhelming strength, a Jedi would meditate and find serenity in their mind to focus. A Jedi used their lightsaber only for defense, not for attack.
A Jedi uses the Force for knowledge and defense, never for attack.
And used the Force for defense and knowledge rather than use it to gain power over others. Because of their ability in the Force, a Jedi, even if they lacked a physical weapon, was never defenseless, and some Jedi were capable of appearing after death as Force spirits. The Jedi fit themselves as peacekeepers during the time of the Galactic Republic, not soldiers, and believed themselves to implement the will of the Force, sensing it to serve as its instruments.
Is the dark side stronger?
No. Quicker, busier, more seductive.
But how am I to know the good side from the bad?
You will know when you are calm, at peace, passive.
Striving to be majestic yet simple, knowledge, the Force, and self-discipline were considered the three pillars of Jedi strength. The Jedi believed that no matter one's physical appearance, everyone was internally made up of light.
Judge me by my size, do you? And where you should not. For my ally is the Force.
Individuals who did not understand the Force took to calling Jedi space wizards. The Jedi Code was a set of rules that governed the behavior of the Jedi Order. It taught its followers not to give in to feelings of anger towards other life forms, which would help them resist fear and prevent them from falling to the dark side of the Force.
Fear is the path to the dark side. Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering.
The fear of loss is a path to the dark side.
Odan Ur was believed to have written the modern Jedi Code. Amongst other dictates, the Jedi Code forbade Jedi Knights and Jedi Masters from taking on more than one Padawan at a given time, and forbade Jedi from forming attachments. Grand Master Yoda stressed that ceasing attachment was essential to prevent a Jedi from becoming jealous, greedy, and afraid of loss, all of which were paths to the dark side.
Train yourself to let go of everything you fear to lose.
Ahsoka Tano also regarded attachment as dangerous and rejected Grogu as an apprentice due to the foundling's bond with the Mandalorian bounty hunter Din Djarin. This practice of non-attachment did not mean that Jedi were strangers to compassion, as they considered it central to their way of life and believed that all lives were precious, though outsider misunderstandings of this were not unusual. While the Jedi did not marry, the Jedi Code banned neither romantic feelings nor familial love. The Code forbade Jedi from killing unarmed opponents as well as seeking revenge.
Kill him now.
Shouldn't.
During the Clone Wars, there were those in the Grand Army of the Republic, such as Wilhuff Tarkin, who believed that the Jedi Code prevented the Order from doing what was necessary to win the war against the Confederacy of Independent Systems. Shortly before the end of the Clone Wars, the Jedi Council, through Obi-Wan Kenobi, asked Anakin Skywalker to spy on his friend, Supreme Chancellor Sheev Palpatine, something which Skywalker felt was against the Jedi Code. In 34 ABY on Ahch-To, Rey heard the soft chanting of the Jedi Code emanating from the tree library that contained the original Jedi texts.
The sacred Jedi texts!
The chanting compelled her to enter the library, where she found the texts
The sacred Jedi texts!
and began learning more about the history of the Jedi Order from Master Luke Skywalker. A Jedi such as Obi-Wan Kenobi, trained in the ways of the light side of the Force, could take comfort in the words of the mantra of the Jedi Code.
There is no emotion. There is peace. There is no ignorance. There is knowledge. There is no passion. There is serenity. There is no chaos. There is harmony. There is no death. There is the Force.
The sacred Jedi texts!
There also existed an alternate version of the code recited by Jedi younglings during their initiate trials and by Jedi Master Benjabola during her full fitness reassessment after waking up from her 6-month coma.
Emotion, yet peace. Ignorance, yet knowledge. Passion, yet serenity. Chaos, yet harmony. Death, yet the Force.
The Jedi knew that the universe is far from static, and the way of the Force is that all living eventually must die.
Let the past die. Kill it, if you have to.
They had strong faith in the Force and found comfort in knowing that upon dying, they, just like all things that ever lived, will be transformed into the cosmic force, the wellspring from which the living force emanated, becoming one with it. Therefore, they saw death as the natural part of life. Despite being saddened by it, they were advised to remember one day that they will all pass on, and rejoice and celebrate those around them who passed away, and become one with the Force instead of grieving and missing them. The fear of losing the living to inevitable death was attachment, the shadow of greed. From 24 BBY to 22 BBY, the galaxy was faced with separatist crisis. Several thousand star systems sought to succeed to the Confederacy of Independent Systems, a breakaway government led by its head of state, Count Dooku. Dooku was a former Jedi Master who had been trained by Yoda himself. The political tensions boiled into full-scale war on Geonosis, where the separatist-aligned Geonosians sentenced Kenobi, Skywalker, and the now Senator Amidala to death. They were rescued by the arrival of a Jedi assault team led by Mace Windu and then a force of clone troopers, an army of clone soldiers recently discovered by Kenobi on the planet Kamino, led by Yoda. In the subsequent actions of the Battle of Geonosis, the Jedi led the clones into battle against the separatist droid army, but Dooku managed to escape from Kenobi, Skywalker, and Yoda. Thus, the battle had served to launch the Clone Wars, the first pan-galactic war since the alleged extinction of the Sith over 1,000 years prior.
For over 1,000 generations, the Jedi Knights were the guardians of peace and justice in the Old Republic.
Dooku himself was the new Sith apprentice to Sidious, and they had plotted to begin the war to bring about the Sith rule. Unbeknownst to the Jedi, Jedi Master Sifo-Dyas had contacted the Kaminoans to create a clone army at least 10 years prior to the First Battle of Geonosis.
Please tell your master, Sifo-Dyas, that his order will be met on time.
I'm sorry, Master...
Jedi Master Sifo-Dyas is still a leading member of the Jedi Council, is he not?
But following his death at the behest of Dooku, Sidious and Dooku secretly took over his project and had them programmed to eventually obey Sidious when the time was right.
Execute Order 66.
Yes, my lord.
There were 10,000 Jedi in the galaxy before the Clone Wars, but many were killed during the conflict, with one separatist leader, General Grievous, even becoming a Jedi hunter, who took lightsabers of his victims as trophies. Another one of Dooku's agents was the Dark Acolyte Asajj Ventress, who had been a Padawan to Jedi Knight Kai Narek in the years before the Clone Wars. During the war, Jedi Knights and Masters became Jedi Generals in the Grand Army of the Republic, while their Padawans became lower-ranking Jedi Commanders. The war against the Separatists was fought across the galaxy for 3 years, during which the Jedi inspired creative thinking and independence in the clones. Jedi like Plo Koon, Kenobi, Yoda, and Skywalker respected the clones as individuals. By fighting the Clone Wars, the Jedi, particularly younger members of the Order, ran the risk of losing their way by focusing on power to win. Their new role as battlefield generals also made some cast doubt as their role as peacekeepers, with one Padawan, Barriss Offee, and other Republic citizens even coming to view the Jedi to be responsible for the war. Thinking her order had fallen from the light to be an army that only benefited from the dark side, Barriss Offee arranged for a bombing of the Jedi Temple hangar and framed her friend, fellow Padawan Ahsoka Tano, to take the fall. One of the few people to stand with Tano was Skywalker, who was Tano's master and friend. He uncovered and exposed Barriss Offee as the true culprit during Tano's trial. Nevertheless, with her faith in the Order shaken, Tano left the Jedi to go on her own path, but she remained on the light side and acted, according to Rafa Martez, in the way a Jedi should have been. Meanwhile, Skywalker greatly missed his Padawan and was frustrated with the Jedi Council, feeling they had betrayed his friend. Members of the Jedi Order held various positions within the Order at times. These included Jedi Youngling, a young child who is Force-sensitive, would be identified at birth and taken to the Jedi Temple on Coruscant to be trained as a Jedi. They were to be put into classes of other Jedi younglings and trained together before taken as an apprentice by a Jedi Knight. Younglings were not to be trained once they had reached a certain age, with the sole exception to this rule being Anakin Skywalker. Younglings would participate in the Gathering, which was a pilgrimage to the Ilum Temple to gain a Kyber crystal for their lightsaber. Padawan, a youngling who had been chosen by a Jedi Knight or Jedi Master to train under their tutelage personally into becoming a full-fledged Jedi Knight. Their readiness was decided by the initiate trials. Padawans wore a braid. Jedi Knight. Once a Padawan has successfully passed the Jedi trials, they were to be granted the rank of Jedi Knight and went out on missions of their own, no longer under the tutelage of a master, and they may take a Padawan themselves. Jedi Master. A Jedi Knight was granted the rank of Jedi Master and offered a seat on the Jedi High Council when they had shown great skill, wisdom, and devotion to the Force. When a Jedi Knight successfully led a Padawan into becoming a Jedi Knight themselves, they would also be granted the rank of Master. Grand Master. the leader of the Jedi High Council. The position of Grand Master was given to the oldest and considered to be the wisest member of the Jedi Order. Some members of the Jedi Order had specific titles and roles within the Order. These included Master of the Order. This position was assumed by the leader of the Jedi Order. They had to be voted unanimously into the position by the Jedi High Council. Jedi Temple Guard. Headed by Sin Dralig during the Clone Wars, these anonymous Jedi guarded the temples with lightsaber pikes. Jedi Investigator. These Jedi were detectives who aided police with the use of the Force. They also used crime scene analysis droids. Consular Jedi. These Jedi devoted themselves to the study of diplomacy or science and avoided combat and warfare duties.
Who are you, and what have you done with Madame Jocasta?
The same thing I'm going to do to you.
Chief Librarian. This Jedi oversaw the Jedi archives and holocron vault. Jedi Seeker. These Jedi searched the galaxy for Force-sensitive children in order to recruit them into the Jedi Order. Jedi Wayseeker. Jedi who operated independently from the Jedi High Council and followed only the will of the Force.
Oh, Maxie bit the Force. Well, that smells stinkerous.